Hey everybody, Bob Babbitt here. This is Breakfast with Bob. We are at Clash Endurance Miami, and a young woman who is ranked number 6 in the world, Emma Pallant-Browne, joins us. Hi Emma, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Always such a pleasure. And I look at your year in 2021, and it's like, oh my God, you did everything.
Yeah.
This is like, wait, you have 1, 2, 3, like 5 major wins. You win Alcatraz, and you win 70.3 Florida, 70 Rev 3, and 70.3 Boulder. It was just like type of thing where you just wanted to get back racing again?
Yeah, definitely. I think we all had a really quiet year with COVID.
Yeah.
And I did Daytona at the end of that kind of quiet year.
The 2020, yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of gave me a kick up the bum to, I hadn't been coached for a year, and I'd done a lot of indoor racing, and then, I wasn't happy with my Daytona performance, and I thought, okay, it's time to get back racing. I think I do better when I race quite a bit.
Yes.
Or I enjoy it, and got Tim Don on board, so started coaching with him.
Tim is coaching you.
Yeah.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, and he's really, if anything, he's like, okay, we need to race a little bit less so we can get the performance up a little bit more. But it's kind of a work in progress. And as well, last year, coming across to America for 3 months and leaving home and stuff, we wanted to make sure it was really worthwhile.
Exactly. But what's fascinating is someone with the running background you have. If someone said, hey, you're going to be racing 6 or 7 half marathons a year, that's a lot. I mean, at a world-class level.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you look at kind of the running background, and when I was running, I was more kind of the 1,500 meters and track events. And
Yep.
you could literally back up weekend. Like sometimes I'd have a Wednesday night race, and then I'd be back like Saturday and Sunday race, and the heats and the finals. But yeah, if you were telling me I was doing half marathons every weekend, I'd be like,
That
you
seems,
sure?
that seems like a long way. But as a runner, you got to a point where it was injury after injury after injury. And you were like 22 years old, where basically doctors were saying you'll never run again?
Yeah. So I had surgery on my tendinopathy. They went on top, and they cut out underneath as well, and they were just like, to be honest, it's kind of, sometimes this works, but if you overdo it, it's definitely not going to work. And it's that kind of I love sport, I love competing hard.
Right.
And how do you fill that gap of what can you do, rather than focus on what you're going to have to give up or what you can't or what you have to limit. It was like, okay, what can I add in, what other goals are there that I can push my body in.
Right.
Swimming is definitely a challenge, so that helped.
And so when did you find triathlon?
So that was back in 2012.
Okay.
And initially I thought it would just be like a phase, a shorter
Just sort
phase.
of get your body healthy.
Yeah.
Get back to running.
Yeah.
Get to real sport.
Get back to running and even learn to run. Like I didn't realize until I really looked kind of deep into it, because I trained as a physio. And when I started really looking into kind of the impact of running and how your technique can really soften that impact, and then I was like, okay, I need to totally relearn to run.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a lot of patience and a lot of years, and kind of having the hard biking and swimming in that was really helping.
Yes. So was this the first time you raced Alcatraz this year?
Yes. Yeah, it was.
And that is just like such a fun event, because it's like, oh, well, there's really no buoys out there. They're just going to dump you off a boat. You're going to swim hopefully to shore if you don't get caught in the current. And then the bike ride is challenging, but it really comes down to running up the sand ladder, all that stuff, right? How fun was that for you?
Yeah, it was super fun. I kind of, with the tough swim, I knew I'd always be a little bit on the back foot, and chasing, which I love to chase. And the run, like you say, it's just such a tough run. You can really make up time. And
a lot of time.
I was training in Boulder, so we actually had a barbecue at Rinnie's before we went, and she was like, I've done this race before, just don't panic. She said, so much can be, even if you come out of transition, which I did like 2 minutes down, and you think it's not that long a run.
Yeah, it's
but
like 7 miles or something,
Yeah.
but it's 7, it's soft sand, it's ladder, it's trail, everything. It's got everything in it.
It really has, yeah. And even like the start and the finish being on that flat, fast road, like you say, literally has everything.
How fun. And then just the the feeling when you jump. Have you ever done a race where you jumped off a boat before?
No, and I was debating, like everyone was like, no, you got to dive. All the pros dive. And it's not that high up. Like I would dive, but every time I dive, my goggles come off. So I was like, I'm not going to risk. I'm just going to do the jump in. But it was fun, super fun.
Well, then I look at 2019, and it's just like, oh my God, how many? You obviously love racing, right? That's crazy. Second, first. That's a career. What you did in 2019 is a freaking career. Were you concerned at all about just the fact that you had a propensity for injuries and?
Yeah, I think I'm lucky in the fact of when I started triathlon, I really also have picked up my strength work, and that's really helped. And from doing those almost as well, periodizing, because I race so often,
right,
it was kind of stopping me from overtraining because, and I was doing a lot of training back then, and my mileage was super high, and I just wasn't getting kind of injured, which showed that going back to basics on the technique stuff really helped.
Yeah, and then Kona, 2018.
Oh, yeah. Do we have to talk about that?
Well, but I mean, you get all these amazing performances, and then, but you got to find out what Kona's all about. And you found out what Kona's all about. Next thing you know, you're on a stretcher?
Yeah. So that was T2, I think.
So you got to T2.
I made it to T2, and then I just remember like putting it on my head to put my shoes on, and then just like waking up with like people looking down at me, and I was like, whoa, like where am I? What's happened? And it's not been the first time, but it's definitely it was an experience, and it's something that made me respect Ironman and think, okay, you literally can't do that kind of race season with Ironman in, and so I want to do what I can do at 70.3 first, and then if I step up to Ironman, just do it properly as.
That's the focus.
Yeah.
You can't go, okay, I'm going to do 15, 70.3s. Oh, and by the way, I'll finish my season by going twice as far and with the greatest field ever assembled. Because I think people underestimate that. We always talk the heat and the wind, but to me, the competition is, because it's like a lot of the races you guys do, there's certainly competition, but it's not 40 deep.
Yeah.
Where everybody's there thinking they're going to be in a podium.
Yeah.
Because you have to qualify to get there. There's really not. There's no lesser athletes. Everybody's there to get on the podium, and I've seen people getting out of the saddle and like surging 20 miles into that bike ride before they're even out past the airport. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's that brutal racing of, like you say, when you put the whole. Like, if everyone's peaking for one race,
that's the one.
That's the focus, it's there. So.
How many people have you ever heard say, I'm training through this one? I'm training through Kona because my focus is Daytona.
Something else. No, I've never heard it.
Now, what did you take away? Because when you came to Daytona, imagining you hadn't raced on a racetrack before.
Yeah.
Being in that position, being in an aero position for that period of time, and just in that position, how hard was that? Yeah,
so I really struggled, especially South Africa's lockdown. There was 6 weeks where we literally couldn't go outside, so we're doing everything on the trainer.
Wow.
Yeah, and I kind of got addicted a little bit to the Zwift racing, but of course that's on your road bike, and like you say, I was spending most of my time out of the saddle, just like pure power, not thinking about handling, not thinking about being aero, and then to get on this track and to hold that position, like I was so sore. Getting off onto the run, I was like, phew. But I think it was fun racing. Like I liked how fast the run was, and it felt like a proper. Again, there were so many people there. It was a proper race.
Right. And then did you do this last one? This one last year? Oh, so
I didn't.
Have you had a chance to ride today?
Yes. Yeah.
Different.
Yeah, I think with that, because it has that inside.
Yeah,
like
the road course where you've got to. It's almost like you're doing almost like crit style, where you're accelerating out of the corners. You have to corner. You have to bike handle.
Yeah, and take the right lines. And I was thinking it might be obvious with the tire marks on the road, which line to follow. But even yesterday in practice, like everyone was going slightly different. And I think you have to be on the ball, and it's going to be quite exciting.
It's going to be really fun. So you're looking forward to it?
Yeah, definitely.
And where do you guys go from here?
So I'm going to go back to South Africa, probably have about 6 weeks of a good solid training block, take away whatever we learn from this race. And then I think Mallorca 70.3 will be the next one. And yeah, the races come pretty thick and fast. Back to Escape from Alcatraz, Chattanooga.
Defend the title. Yeah.
North American champs. So yeah, there's some good ones in there.
And so you'll stay away from the full distance for a while.
This year, yeah.
This year, for sure. Well, you know, I totally think that's the right way to go. Because at this day and age, with the challenge races, with the class races, with 70.3 races, you really don't have to race full. I mean, look at all this full stuff without having to go and do. And for someone who loves racing, like you love racing, it allows you to race way more often than taking 6 months off or something between. You would go out of your mind.
Yeah, I think I would. Poor Jared.
Oh my God. Very cool. Well, first of all, congrats on everything you've done. Congrats on marriage.
Thank you so much. Thank
now,
you.
you guys will live in South Africa?
Yes, yeah. So we live in Johannesburg, which is ideal for the weather, the climate, and the altitude. So yeah.
So no Oceanside this year?
No Oceanside, not this year. Unfortunately.
That's hard. That's a good race, huh?
But I really enjoyed that race last year. I kind of went into it. I almost didn't race, so I had a bad bike crash in Cape Town 2 weeks before LA, and I took quite a bit of skin off my elbow, and I couldn't get properly into the aero bars. Yeah. So I suffered on that bike, but then the run was super fun.
Well, and with that bike ride, I think that's one of the purest courses out there.
Yeah.
Because you got waves, which you probably like, a little surf, and then you swim into the harbor, and then the bike ride has 3 good climbs on the back half, and then you got headwind coming in, and then the run is, I always find that run, because it's concrete, it really beats your legs up, but it's
Actually,
fast.
I remember seeing you on that run, giving you a cheer on with
Yes,
Eric.
Yes, you did. We were walking, strut. We were just. We come out there every year. Our charity's official charity for it, so we love that event. It's very, very special. And so, putting off the whole Kona experience for a couple more years.
Yeah, I think so.
Good girl. I love it. Emma, have so much fun out there on Friday. I can't wait to watch you race.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Emma Pallant-Browne has been our guest. Again, Breakfast with Bob. We are here at Clash Endurance Miami. Hold on. We will be right back.